So, has the Amazon influencer program actually gone to Turdville? I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the naysaying and negativity around the program and give you my thoughts on if it's actually legit or not. Don't get me wrong, I'm not here to be a cheerleader for the program and think that everything's honky dory, but I do want to provide what I think is some clarity on the actual status of the program. So if you're like in the middle of it right now, if you're thinking about getting into it and things aren't going well or they're not going anywhere and you're just not sure, like, should I even spend my time on this? I'm going to give you my thoughts on the actual status of the program and what to kind of look for going forward. My name is Rob. I've been in the influencer program for about a year and a half. I'm here sharing my tips, tricks, and advice, things I've learned along the way, both good and bad. Sometimes more of the latter to hopefully help you make more money in the program. So if that sounds good to you, like it's in your wheelhouse, consider hitting the subscribe button. And if you get halfway through this and you say to yourself, this bozo ain't too dumb, I'm totally good with that. I want to earn that like. Hit the like button then. I think I'm your Amazon influencer guy. So it is a pretty common thing that we're seeing on a lot of the chats, a lot of the chatter, a lot of the ding dong. That's not a real term people use, but I'm going to say it anyways. That the influencer program has fallen apart, that it's gone bad, it's gone awry, things have hit the fan, the poop has done splattered across said fan. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that because whether or not that's true can certainly have a big impact on how you proceed with the program overall. And I don't have any special insights. Like I said before, I'm just some bozo, but a bozo that's trying to use common sense and look at this without any sort of bias or emotion, even with that. So let's look at first the program. Has the program actually changed? While there has been some changes within the program, for example, you had to have at least 30 seconds on a video for it to count. Now it's like anything goes. Like that's different, right? But aside from that, the general rules are pretty much still the same, which are that if a product is selling and somebody watches your video or whatever it is, then you're going to make a commission on that. Those two things are still unequivocally true. And so with that being said, has the program then really changed? Has it really fallen apart? Has it gotten worse? I would say no. But like all things in the world, people are ruining it. We're just not great. As a species, we're just not great. We obviously have a saturation problem that's really kicked in. Amazon is still promoting themselves on all social media platforms as you're invited, which is never a good thing to just blanket that out to a bunch of people. It's going to invite some very bright people, certainly, but certainly a lot of the worst people looking to take advantage of such a thing. Not that we're not trying to all take advantage of it in some way, but it's going to get some people taking advantage in a way that they should not be doing so. So you have that going on, right? You have a bunch of people coming in, which means it's harder to find products which are worth spending your time on. The products, and I've talked about this before, the most popular products that people tend to buy the most, the ones with the most spotlight on them, get oversaturated very quickly, which I'm not too worried about that, but it's certainly worth putting a pin in. And then, of course, what I would say is the biggest problem in the influencer program right now is the influx of AI dirtbags coming in and making these 5-second videos where they are stealing other people's videos. Especially what I'm seeing a lot of is they're stealing the customer review videos. And then what they'll do is they'll zoom it so far in that you can't tell that it's actually the same video, but it is. So you got a lot of that going on right now. Some of these storefronts have 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 videos on them. Side note, I do think that Amazon is going to take care of that eventually. And I do think that they're already starting to deprioritize those in a lot of the carousels. Rarely do I see them outranking, if there's other videos in the carousel, outranking other videos. Every once in a while I do, but I think that Amazon's going to, but it's a problem right now, a big time problem. And in fact, one of the things I'm seeing right now too in regards to that is accounts that are actually linked together, these AI accounts, and you'll notice because they'll have the same products on each one, just like a variation of the video. So those things are certainly coming into play as it's made the program, our participation in the program different. Again, I don't think the program has really changed that much, but the rules to participate have changed because of people. So then what do you got to do with that? Well, you can't just do what people did several years ago, which was just throw up any video that you want and you were going to make money on it, because there just wasn't really any saturation. There wasn't, the floodgates hadn't been opened yet. So you could do pretty much whatever you want and make really good money, which is why a lot of the people that have been around for a long time are saying, hey, I'm not making any money anymore. Well, it's because all those products which have those spotlights on them, now that we're oversaturated, that spotlight is leading all those people directly to those products, and they're making videos for them, and the whole thing's just becoming oversaturated. Again, I think there's still a ton of products out there to do videos for, but that kind of leads me to what my real point of this video is the game hasn't really changed. I mean, the program hasn't really changed, but the game that we're playing has changed, because what we have now is massive competition. That's really, in the end, what oversaturation ends up meaning, is we've got competition. We can't do it the way that we used to be able to do it, right? I mean, people have been around even longer than me. They had it in the, what I'd maybe call the good old days, right? Those rules no longer apply to the game, right? Now what we have to do is real product research. We have to understand that we are now competing against not just other influencers, but businesses that are being run. We've got people that, there are influencers that, what I would call them, video farms. They put an ad on Uphold or Fiverr or something. They say, hey, I need your video. I'll give you $10 for video. And these are real people. So sometimes these accounts where you see a bunch of like random faces on it, could be a video farm, but it's people treating this as a business. People have come in that are doing things like me, which are creating code to try to be more efficient. They're trying to figure things out better than everybody else is figuring things out. And so if you were somebody before that was happy because you were just making a video and throwing it up on Amazon to make money, that was cool. But I just think that you're going to get phased out if you continue to just kind of take that same methodology forward without going like, look, I got to change this into a business if I want to be able to compete against this. Even if they get rid of all the AI stuff, there are still more people that are like me that are coming in that are still doing it legitimately, but we're just doing it more efficiently, right? And so we're trying, and let's be honest, I'm trying to steal your clicks. That's something that a lot of people won't say. And you're trying to steal mine, or you should be. There are not enough clicks. If there's one product and that product has 5 videos on it, I want the click that makes the sale, and I don't want you to have it. And you want the same. You want to get that click that gets the sale. And I'm not offended by that. That's how this thing is going to work going forward. That's competition. That's market, right? So that's totally fine. But in order for me to be able to compete with those, we got to take everything up a level. We have to be smart with the products we participate in. We have to be smart with what we spend our time on. We have to be smart with how do we increase our click rate, right? Are the custom thumbnails the way to go going forward? If somebody's looking at 5 videos, what do I got to do to make them pick mine out of the 5? Because they're just looking at thumbnails and titles, right? We have to be smarter about what we are doing going forward with this. So has the program changed? Not really. Have the rules of the game changed? Absolutely, they have. And unless you adapt, you are going to get pushed out, because Amazon has no inclination that this thing is going to slow down, that they're interested in slowing it down, that they want to stop accepting people. In fact, it seems like it's quite the opposite. So if you think this is currently saturation now, if you are not prepared for what comes next, then you are going to be one of the first ones that gets pushed out. So start making your changes now. Start getting more familiar with actually doing product research, like what sells well, what doesn't, what's worth your time and what's not. I got a bunch of videos here on my channel, if you haven't watched them before, about my approach to doing this, to make sure that the products that I work with have the best chance of converting into a sale and then ultimately into a commission for your bozo boy right here. And again, if you got any value out of this thing, maybe now is the time to hit the like button on this. And if you haven't hit subscribe already, then what are you doing? It's like hugging each other without using our arms. It's just nipple to nipple over here. Just rubbing ourselves raw. Hopefully this was helpful for you all. Thanksgiving is here. You're going to take a couple of days off. And by the way, none of this is doom and gloom, right? It's a matter of trying to maybe get some of this word out, or maybe this to say something maybe that you haven't thought of so far, which is, if you're seeing all these people saying, oh man, the program is tanked, it hasn't. It's just the way you were doing things, or the way people did before, that part has tanked. And unless you adapt, what was that saying? There was like, you got to get up or get out, or out. My dad used to say, do whatever you're going to do on the pot, or get off, which is a horrible thing to tell a child. But it worked. So thanks y'all so much for watching. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe, maybe the like on this. We'll see you on the next video. Hope you guys are having an awesome series of Black Friday sales. I'll talk about that later next week and what I'm seeing. Peace out.